Welcome back to The Matrix, where things are gonna be just a little bit stripped back today. For I am sorry to announce that The Matrix has been deleted. Eons of knowledge lost to the sands of time. And by knowledge I specifically mean gigabytes. And by lost I mean deleted when I absolutely fucking wrecked my hard drive. So yeah, I had to take the Matrix into the shop. Let's give a noble, low-res salute to the broke canons that never were. Lost to the digital never. Personally, I blame the Time Lords. So please take this very patient journey with me as I start from scratch, essentially, and give you my first fun fact from the world of Doctor Who. Matrix? Ah, shit, right. Beep, 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 beep. Cool. Let's talk about the moon. But Sam, we spoke about the moon last time. Yeah, maybe, but one of these days I'm going to sit you down and talk about Kill the Moon, and you're going to like it. For reference, go to your window right now. Look up at the sky. That right there is probably the moon. I don't know, there's like a 50-50 chance. In Doctor Who, that moon right there, sometimes referred to as Luna, is a real point of contention. Beautifully, non-ironically, an orbiting dragon egg. Since then, it's been visited by interested parties from Draconians to Cybermen, Jadoon to Silence. The Ice Warriors also think it's theirs. It's also where Iris Wildtime lives. But the baby dragon egg was originally part of a double planet formed with the planet Mercury. Does that make sense? No, not really. And we have seen the moon being formed before in the Doctor Who series. Doctor Who can't even decide who the first person on the moon was. In Imperial Moon, it's the British Empire who unsurprisingly won the space race before it even began in America and Russia. In 1878, 3 ships are launched from Scotland and all made it to the moon within the day. Within the day. That means they'd have to be travelling 3 times faster than Neil Armstrong. The first man on the moon instead was Professor Boyes Dennison. I think this is what he looks like. And then I'm told there's a comic story called Moon Landing, which just makes the whole thing worse. Now claiming that the first moon landing was in 1970.
Have you really thought about what it would take to fake a moon landing?
To be fair, they hadn't landed on the moon yet. And they recognised the TARDIS as a police box, which probably means they were British as well. Because, of course they were. Hey, Americans, this is how we feel watching every single movie and TV show you put out. Strangely, the Doctor makes no mention of Courtney Woods to John and Gillian. Thank you to Ben Hollings for that fact, and Rule Britannia, I guess. Another account says that the moon came from somewhere far out, way past our solar system, housing the genesis of Cathakatlos, fuck you, as a floating ball to terraform other worlds. Was it the remains of the planet Theia when it collided with Earth? From the story Moonblink. Man, I don't know, I'm just a guy with a pen and paper. But then there's an audio called Energy of the Daleks. You may have even heard it, it's free on Spotify right now. Apparently I had, and have no recollection of listening to it, so it must be a good one. Energy of the Daleks is set in the year 2021, in which the Daleks take advantage of the energy crisis on planet Earth. But never fear, the multi-billionaires are here, as one CEO, Damien Stevens, formed the Globesphere Corporation, covered the moon egg and solar panels, which the Daleks just loved. Big fans of solar energy. But then you may recall, if you have encyclopedic knowledge, there's another story that takes place in the year 2021 in The Harvest. Yeah, Hex is a nurse from 2021 England, if you didn't already have enough reason to love this guy. In this story, an American corporation was stationed in outer space, with the Doctor saying that China pretty much ran the moon.
And US Corps have their W stations, and the Chinese pretty much run the moon, but Europe's fast overtaking the other superpowers in almost every other respect.
I don't have the heart to tell him. In Whoniverse history, 2021 also had Europe as a major superpower. and were primed and ready to colonize the solar system. Firmly, no comment. But oh, get this, the United Kingdom lacked a space program. Did Big Finish just predict Brexit? But it's okay! England used Cybermen. So the moon's pretty busy, and I guess those 20 years caught up quick since those stories were released. What we did have in 2021 was a Dalek revolution. And definitely not a deadly pandemic. Except, hang on, no, there was a pandemic. Maybe it's not in Revolution, but the Doctor Who world did go through COVID-19, so that's kind of fucked.
Doctor, it's 2020. It's a fantastic year for memes, but it's a terrible year for humanity.
Fact number 2. Heading over today to Jacqueline Rayner's Citation Needed, a short story from the Target storybook. This is the story of the Encyclopedia Gallifreya, and its journey into sentience. The book is the story's narrator, told entirely from its point of view. I guess it's more of an activity log, and Clara knocked it over in Series 7. Nice! That bottle right there is the Doctor's oldest ally. Every Time Lord is given a copy of the Encyclopedia Gallifreya when they graduate from the Academy. It's what actually links their brains into the Matrix when they die. The Doctor's Encyclopedia got a bit confused by the Time War, and the fact that many Time Lords were unexisting and brought back again, and unexisted all over again. Turning the book into a real boy. People who were mere names in my database are so much more than the data records. Vicky, Harry, Adric, Grace, Donna, they lived and breathed and felt and loved and died and hoped and trusted and wept and laughed. How could I blandly log Sarah Jane Smith as Earth, female, journalist, without saying how incredible she was, how brave, how beautiful, how funny, how loyal, how indomitable? I did my job. I will continue to do my job, but I will appreciate every moment that I'm privileged to witness, to catalogue. I will cherish every person, every creature, every planet, and every bow tie that falls within my purview. The book is madly in love with him. And it knows a lot more than it lets on. If the Doctor had simply consulted the book on, any of his adventures, he would have saved himself a lot of grief. The current data on this Time Lord I'm downloading right now is gonna come as a big surprise with the Doctor. Shame the Doctor hardly ever consults me. The oldest companion is also the first Doctor Who fan, as it sits on the sideline, on the bookshelf, cataloguing all of his adventures and feelings. The book is also a major player behind the scenes of Ranskorav Kolos. You'll be able to see what's happening, you'll see me, and you'll come up with a plan that will defeat Sim Shaw without my sacrifice. Just off camera, just off screen, it makes the ultimate sacrifice in the finale of that story. I like being awake, I like being alive. Even the pain now as the arcs search through me reminds me that I live. I want to stay living. But then, mistaking the book for a fizzy drink, the fam murder the Doctor's oldest friend. Graham grabs what he thinks is a bottle of Tizer, and its final words, as it is slowly ingested by Graham O'Brien, are Time Lord Stenza, cheese, help owl, pussycat quiche chameleon sandwich, Dr. Safe hiccup, Dr. Safe love, love acceptance, goodbye, peace. And there goes the bravest soul to ever travel in the TARDIS. Graham O'Brien was the true antagonist of Series 11. Here's a fun one about the Scabby Master. I love this guy. I also do not know very much about this guy. In fact, I only found out recently that these two barbecued boys are very different characters. And the Geoffrey Beevers Master, this one, and Big Finish, is the incarnation after the TV movie. What? Make it make sense. I know that there's no reason we have to meet the Master in the right chronological order, but we see Beevers go into Ainley. Is Ainley a late career Master? Timelines! I despise them. They add nothing to my enjoyment of the series. Number these guys, I dare you. My favourite Doctors are 2, 10 and 12, and my favourite Masters are 13, 25 and 58B. Try not to think about Keeper of Track, and try not to think about Logopolis, and take a journey with me into the story Mastermind from the Big Finish Companion Chronicles. It has me scratching my head. Linking up the apparent gap there was between the TV movie and the Geoffrey Beevers Master, of which I didn't know there was one. Are there 2 Jeffrey Beavers masters? That would make more sense. And I'm not even going to mention the other masters that follow Eric Roberts, because there's a ton. This audio story is about the master locked up in a vault. Explaining his adventures throughout the 20th century, like he's a scabby Forrest Gump. The Beaver's master is interrogated by 2 unit soldiers. No, these are not the characters from the TV movie for legal reasons, but it's a weird little tale. Going into great detail how he survived the Eye of Harmony, how he survived the Daleks, but also a couple other very strange details. Remember previously when I made a big deal out of the master having a daughter? Like, that was a game changer for us, wasn't it? It felt like it at the time. Well, we're in season 2 now, and I'd like to tell you that the Scabby Master, the Beaver's incarnation, played Mafia, hung out in the late 20th century in Italy, and fathered many children. Yeah, you heard me right.
Look how they massacred my boy.
I am, as you say, the master, and you will obey me.
Wouldn't you love to hear a story totally focused on that? A box set even. But before you know it, he's on to the next anecdote about the Titanic and death worm morphants. Like, no, go back, show me the master be a mobster. I would like to meet this master's familia. I have to assume he wasn't the charred up master that we know from Lair of the White Worm, Light at the End. Surely, right? Don't get me wrong, I want to see the story regardless, but it's a strange new element to know that the master mingles, gets down, procreates. Weirder still, this isn't even the only time it happens. The Beaver's master also gets a new love interest in the box set Masterful, the absolute heartbreaker. And yeah, her heart actually is broken when the Eric Roberts master pulls a prank on his future self and gets him to reveal his true appearance to her, making her burst into tears and scream for her life. Aw, you hate to see it. My man's just trying to get some. And he can't even trust himself to be his own wingman. Imagine pulling a prank on your future self. It is truly the definition of a self-own. Oh wait, no, that's the plot of Masterful. So how did the master become a crinkled up cumsock to begin with? Again, there are lots of different answers to this question. I think the main one that fandom embraces these days is in the Two Masters. Haven't listened to these. Somebody spoilt for me that the master sets himself on fire. So now, you get to know that too. Excuse me whilst I go and listen to that trilogy of stories, and then laugh my ass off at how they explain that. Thank you for watching. Have some patience whilst I get things back up and running, and hopefully next time, next Broke Canon, I'll have the place looking a bit more presentable. Peace.